will tell you is that today's process, and if any of you have been through this, you probably already have felt this, but today's process is not very conducive to this. And that's for a few different reasons. The first reason is that most people start off with a template, right? But you never know if the template you've got is the right template for your business until maybe you've done a couple of weeks worth of work and you've discovered, oh, you know what? This doesn't actually mirror the way my business works. For that reason, I encourage you to start with something that is much more custom, or perhaps build something on your own. Now, don't get scared. There are ways to do this, but I would hesitate to recommend that you use a very generic template, because ultimately you're going to end up doing a lot of customization, and it's just going to keep you busy as opposed to focusing on the real things you need to be focused on. Even if you find a template that fits you, quite often the first thing that every model tells you to do is project sales. Well, if you knew what your sales were going to be, then you just go out and do it, and you might not even need to create a financial model, because you could just make money if you actually magically knew what you were able to sell. The problem is that most founders don't know how they're going to generate sales, and so asking them to project sales first leads them into this kind of magical thinking, which is, oh, well, making sales is just as easy as changing a number in an Excel spreadsheet, which doesn't serve you in your business, and ultimately really creates some challenges for you when you try to connect the dots between the sales that you've projected magically and the expenses that you need to get there. And the last element of today's process is that there is this huge emphasis on creating visuals, right? Everybody tells you you need that hockey stick that we saw a bit earlier. The end result of your model is not the value of the model to an investor, as we talked about. And so this nice neat package where you project sales and then you just put in some expenses and out spits a beautiful graph is not actually the most valuable part of the process. It's you going through and really understanding what needs to happen in your business and how you can translate that into action. And that's what I would love to encourage you to do. Instead of focusing on the way we do things today, what if we focused on what you actually do first? So instead of thinking about, hey, let's project sales and then let's figure out how much it costs us to run the business, what if we thought about the 4 things that every single business does, right? Every business has to attract buyers. Every business has to deliver their solution. Every business has to delight clients. And every business has to go out and find a way to build something new, whether it's taking their current offer and entering a new market with it, or it's developing a new product or service for the current clients that they have. And by focusing on these activities, instead of focusing on, hey, let's project sales and then try to figure out what our expenses look like, we can actually get to a point where building a financial model is a lot more logical and a lot more straightforward for entrepreneurs who don't understand or frankly care about all the financial jargon.